Hello, Una, good morning. Yes, now here we did this morning on Top Up TV. We want to discuss property matter. Will be very, very important matter for we society because you not get anybody we not get right or we not get, what it takes to get property. And now reason why we did day here most of the time to learn one or two things. So I'm not gonna make some very, very costly mistakes in getting good properties. And my name is Debo Adejana, your number one bay on Top Up TV. If they surprised, say they see me for here, but who not like property matter? Who doesn't want to have a property? Who doesn't want to own something that is, property related? And now why are they here today? But don't worry, it's not still business as usual because I day with Engineer Debo, of course, to discuss every matter we'll get to discuss this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Yes.
Ibu Bay. The only bay, is it?
The only bay.
The only bay on
Number
WAP.
one bay.
Number one bay. WAP, number one bay. How are you?
I'm very
nice
well,
having you on set.
Yes, nice having you here.
Maybe you come again and again. You're thinking about that?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay,
because I'd rather do entertainment things.
You
but
know,
today I said let's just
do something more serious.
Let's do something more serious. So welcome to the show too.
Thank you so
much. I hope
much.
you didn't have any difficulties getting here.
Well, usually, Lagos, our head of our president is in town, so
Yeah.
of course that caused some traffic, but I think it's okay.
All
it's
right.
okay.
Nice, welcome.
Good morning, viewers. How are you out there? Hope you've been enjoying us this year. I hope you've started out on your real estate ventures this year. If you've missed any of our episodes, we have to catch up. Go to WAP TV YouTube channel and catch up. We have loads and loads and loads of past episodes that will benefit you there. So today, we want to talk about infrastructure, infrastructure development and your real estate investment. What is the relationship,
Okay.
That's what we want to talk about today.
All right.
And I want you guys out there to call in today and share, We want to hear your own side of the story or your own experience as it were, The peculiarities would help us, especially if you are from any part of Nigeria, This is all over the world right now, So, great. So, infrastructure development and real estate. What is the relationship? Now, they are very, very related in terms of your property investment value and infrastructure development. You would notice or you would have observed that wherever you have infrastructure, what do we mean by infrastructure first? First, a lot of people will know. So infrastructure are maybe layman's definition, things that support your ability to be able to enjoy the use of a real estate space.
Yes.
Let's put it that way, So things that support, maybe you live in a particular area, what helps you to be able to get to that area easily, get out of that area easily, things like that.
Roads,
are infrastructure,
water,
so exactly. those are infrastructure, and they help greatly when it comes to real estate. So there is a theory in real estate called the growth pole theory. That theory just simply talks about the fact that, wherever you have infrastructure coming in any locality, you would realize that it will start to attract real estate or property development or appreciation or spread in that environment. So it's not strange, if you've observed, it's not strange to see that where you have railroads, you would always have development along the railroads. I mean, take the case of the recent railroad projects by this administration. For those of us that are in the southwest, for the Ibadan Railroad, I think somebody would have to remind me, is it Moniya that? No, it's not Moniya. There is a place in Ibadan where this current railroad terminates in Ibadan.
Okay.
It wasn't a developed place like that before. But as soon as railroad is to terminate there.
Yes.
I mean, just by the mention of it, once they announced that, okay, this is the plan for this railroad, it's going to terminate in so place in Ibadan. And from there to Lagos, people started investing in that area. Properties started springing up. By the time it got there, by the time the railroad was commissioned, by the time it started operating, bam, 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 bam. So investments continued to grow in that area. And along that axis now, it has witnessed a lot of development within the metropolis of Ibadan. And even along the areas, the rail cuts across, passes through, I think, some part of Abeokuta, some part of Ogun State. All of those areas are developing now. Today in Lagos, if you mention Ijushaga, The main thing that propelled that settlement or that area was the rail project of those days, of those years. You know, Iju Waterworks, Iju Railroad caused a boom in that area. You know, so you always have to look at wherever you are investing in terms of property to ask yourself, what are the infrastructures in this area? Are infrastructures coming to this area soon, or are infrastructures already in this area? You know, that would really, really help. We can mention a whole lot, and I want you guys to call in and just tell us, I mean, your own experience, what you've observed regarding relationship of property and infrastructure development. Take the rail line that Lagos State launched now. You know, there was the rail project started since, I think, Fashola's regime, the one that is supposed to get to Badagry and Co. You know, once they started that thing, once they started mentioning it, people positioned themselves along that mile too, up to Badagry axis. People positioned themselves. I think there was a gas plant project also that was supposed to be in Badagry. People positioned themselves. I remember there is this federal government federal government civil service training college or something. ASCON is called. When ASCON went to Badagry, it created some kind of, you know, appreciation in that area. You know, so once you see some notable pulling project that pulls people to an area, you know, or brings people to an area, you know, it helps in impacting real estate in that axis, property development in that axis. So, Mr. President is in Lagos, like we said, now, and he's in Lagos to do a few things. You know, he's in Lagos to launch. I mean, I understand Lagos is calling it, is it harvest of projects or commissions or seasons of projects or something like that. You know, so there are a lot of projects that Mr. President is expected to commission while in Lagos. These 2 days he's spending in Lagos. He has already commissioned a few yesterday. He's commissioning a lot more today. You know, part of it is the deep sea in Lekki, Ibeju Lekki. Now, if you are in the real estate space at all in Lagos State, you know that this Lekki thing, Ibeju Lekki, we've been mentioning it forever.
For a long time.
You know, and for a number of reasons. When you hear Ibeju Lekki, the majority of the reasons that people sell Ibeju Lekki with, you hear airports, you hear deep sea ports, you hear Dangote refinery. You understand? So those three, you would always hear them when you mention Ibeju. And to note that Dangote refinery is on ground. The fertilizer aspect of it has started production. And the petroleum part of it is expected to really commence production very soon also. So it's a reality. Has it impacted real estate investment in that area, property appreciation in that area? Of course. I can tell you that authoritatively for free. Okay. Now, the deep sea is already commissioned. It's working. In fact, I understand that it received its first ship. Also, was it yesterday or so, or over the weekend?
If you definitely know, say you want to invest in Property Matta, definitely the right person to go to is Engineer Debo. And the numbers they show for your screen are where if you take call in on the show in case you get any questions at all when you want to ask them about Property Matta. You don't need to go for consultations anywhere. You can do it right now. Maybe they're not going to chop your money, you know, all those 5K, 10K. Just do free consultation now. Call in, ask them anything when you want to ask them onto Property Matta, or any property where you don't even invest in, when they give you issues. If you say call them, ask them about them. And we've been discuss one very, very interesting topic: infrastructural development and your properties. I go say make una call in the number they show for your screen for WhatsApp video call. If you call us for +234 810 5434384. And if you also call us for normal call, +234 8173 147589. All right, so just call us and make we know whether you get any questions for Engineer Debo. All right, so before we went on that short break, you've been to tell us about developments when they come to places like Ibejuleki and all that. So we want to hear more and learn more, make we know
about that. Okay, so
yes.
we're talking about the seaports and about the various things that have been mentioned around the Ibejuleki corridor forever. And since when they were mentioned, it seemed like, will these things ever come to pass? But we can see that two of them are already realities, okay? The airport is also advancing in terms of the possibility of it coming to fruition. So you can imagine the impact it has had. Now, the past administration of Lagos State also started a heavy, and that's also part of what the president is commissioning, a heavy infrastructural development as per road structure, within the Ekpe corridor. This current administration now took it into Lekki, Ibejuleki axis itself, so connecting Ekpe. So meaning that, you know what, it's a lot easier now to travel down to Ekpe and back, So, and if you remember also, Ogun State on his own end has also done massive work along the entering Ogun State through the Jebu axis of Ekpe, the border of Ekpe and all of that. So you can see that, I mean, in that area now, little wonder why after Ibejuleki, the next noise you are hearing in Lagos is about Ekpe.
That's true, because it's even easier to go out from that
and
side.
The truth of the matter is that when you even hear Ekpe now, don't be surprised. Go and visit that site. They actually be talking about somewhere in Ogun State because they are so close right now. So you can imagine what we are talking about. If you go to that axis now, infrastructure has really opened up the place, all the places around there, and prices are on their way up. I mean, I remember a particular cooperative that we worked with at the time, way back in probably 2012 or so, did some transaction around the Ekpe axis, and what their members bought the land was well under ₦1 million. Well under ₦1 million, that they have bought full plots in that particular location. That particular location today, now as we speak, you can't get it for less than about ₦4 million.
Can you imagine?
Because of the kind of things that have happened.
We were actually talking about that during the break when I've been to see some plots of land for Owode, Ogun State, and they say for 1 million, and I couldn't tell Engineer Debo say some time ago, these lands will be like 200, 300, but now because development don't come.
Development don't come. I mean, the past administration in Ogun State, for example, did some infrastructure around the Mowe of other axis. I mean, we expected more, but then they did what they did, and it has impacted on prices. So whenever we have infrastructural development, infrastructural advancement around any corridor, it has direct correlation, direct impact on the properties, on your investment, your property investment, because it will cause appreciation. It will cause it to start to grow. So for the people that have bought by that time, it's an advantage. They laugh, they are smiling, they are enjoying it. For people that are hoping to buy, it's a concern. Because they are looking at, this thing doesn't go. This thing doesn't go away from my pocket and things like that, But so, if you that's why we advise people that, you know what? The right time to buy any property is like when you say the right time to do what is right, or what is that adage? They say that the time to do what you have to do is 20 years ago, something like that. So the right time to buy a property is 20 years ago. The next right time is now. Do you understand? That's the truth. Just make sure that you do your due diligence. You are buying the right property. You're buying genuine property. You are buying from the genuine people. I mean, and you're paying as you should pay so that you don't have any stories coming forward, So those are important things that you just need to know. But in terms of whether your property would appreciate or whether properties would always appreciate. I think on one of our episodes about over a year ago, I think, we did something on how and why properties appreciate in value. You want to probably check the YouTube channel to search out that episode and watch, so that it gives you a better understanding of how properties appreciate. It's also linked, we also linked it a bit to this infrastructure stuff, So don't be surprised if after Mr. President leaves now, you are hearing Ibejuleki and you are hearing things like 10 million naira, 15 million naira, per plot
there's
in
more
that axis.
hype.
Because guess what? That is another apapa. Because once
Seaports
ships
and airports
are
and everything.
docking there, they are baiting there.
Yes.
Guess what?
Makes life easy.
I mean, that means the place will become really, really
Commercial.
Right now, a lot of demand is already. People are already experiencing a lot of demand in terms of property requirements or needs around that axis. Because the seaport, people will work there. People will do business there.
True.
And a lot of people, there are a lot of other secondary market that will serve that population.
That community, yes.
I mean, already if you go there now, that stretch, the axis from Eleko to that area, you already see some people dealing in diesel and all of those things, all lining that corridor.
It's opening up very well.
It's opening up seriously. Before, if you build properties in that area to rent it out, it usually takes some time. But now, properties that are well built are filling up very, very fast.
That's true.
In that neighborhood, they are filling up very, very fast. And the simple truth is because a lot of people are coming in. A lot of people are coming in to do their projects. So we expect that a lot of infrastructure happens and stuff like that.
Anything more that you want us to know? So.
Yeah, just to add that. So this is why when you hear things like land speculation, or you hear the latest term they call it land banking, but you must know what that means strictly. What that means strictly is you're buying land in places that you're anticipating development will get to. When they talk about development getting to a place, largely, most of the time, what propels that development is infrastructure. So if you hear, for example, that government is planning something in some areas now, look at the budget of the country. Okay, for example, and look at the areas government plan to pump money into in terms of infrastructure. If you go there to wait, buy properties down, you are speculating on land, or you are banking on land. That is, you are saving your money on that land, so that when the boom or the growth, appreciation that will come as a result of government providing that infrastructure starts to show up, you will then be able to benefit from it because you've gone ahead of that development, you've bought cheaper, and now this infrastructure coming has cost appreciation, and then you can benefit.
But then I wanted to ask, how do people even know, like, okay, now this place, how can they be sure?
It's just by following news and trends.
Okay.
It's just that's why I said check the budget, for example, and things like that. So by following news, by following trends, keeping your ears to the ground, you hear information, and you can then act on it to make money. So that is it.
Thank you, Engineer Debo. It's always a pleasure having you at WAP TV because they always teach us many things, so we're not going to make mistake with our properties. Thank you, viewers at home. God bless you so much. We go definitely see you again next week Tuesday on top the same Property Matter. Say WAP TV never even closed door. We still here. They do other shows, so keep watching. And we have your best interest at heart. We go talk about your property. We go talk about your health. We go talk about your finances. Everything will concern you.
And we will entertain you. Enjoy.
We too they do too much, but then that's what we do because we love you guys. Thank you. Follow Engineer Debo up and on all the social media platforms. Copy the number you can see on your screen and just ask him whatever you need to ask him about your properties. Thank you. See you again next time.